You may not think there's anything interesting about clams, but we bet you don't know these 5 cool facts about them. No. 1. They can live for a really long time. Scientists believe that clams can live to be around 500 years old. It's about how long it took for humans to invent the wheel. And just like the wheel, scientists are still trying to figure out exactly how clams get so old. It's hard to study an animal that lives mostly underwater, buried in sand or mud, except for its shell, which is usually sticking out of the ground. But scientists have managed to learn some things about how clams seem to live forever. One of their secrets is that they grow incredibly slowly. Even after 100 years, a clam might only be 4 inches long. Humans take about 25 years to reach that size. The other part of the puzzle is that clams have special proteins that help repair their DNA. DNA is like a set of instructions that tells the body how to work. And sometimes mistakes happen when these instructions get copied, which can make cells stop working correctly. But the proteins in clams seem to find and fix these mistakes, which might be what keeps them alive for so long. No, 2. You can tell where a clam is from by its rings. Have you ever looked at a clamshell and seen all the rings inside? Well, it turns out each ring tells you something about where that clam was living. When scientists cut open a shell and look at its rings, they can determine where the clam lived based on what the rings look like. Each ring has different widths and chemistries depending on where the clam was living. For example, if a clam lives in an area with a lot of sediment, the rings will be very thin. If a clam lives in an area with a lot of algae, the rings will be really wide. And if a clam lives in an area with a lot of both sediment and algae, then the rings will be really wide, with lots of spikes. Knowing this, scientists can use clam shells to figure out where extinct species of clams used to live, and even learn about past environments. No. 3. Some clams can glow in the dark. There are more than 200 species of luminous clams. Luminous means that an organism can produce its own light. These clams can glow when they're exposed to water, and chemicals that produce light are called bioluminescent. Bioluminescent organisms come in all shapes and sizes, from tiny bacteria to giant squid. So why do so many different creatures have this ability? Well, it helps them survive. Many luminous animals, like clams, live in the ocean where there isn't much light. Producing your own light helps you hide from predators who are looking for food. Bioluminescence also helps some clams attract their prey. Since clams can't chase down their food, they wait for food to swim right up to them. Some clams even have special light displays that only appear when a tasty morsel of food is nearby. This helps make sure they only expend energy to capture food that they can actually eat. Number 4. Clams have been around for a really long time. Clams first appeared on Earth over 480 million years ago. It's 100 million years before the first. Dinosaurs showed up in 170 million years before humans did. Clams have been on every continent on Earth and in almost every ocean. There are even some clams that live in salty lakes. Over all those years, they've developed shells to protect themselves from getting eaten. Their shells are made of calcium carbonate, the same stuff that makes up coral and eggshells. Clams start out with one shell, but as they grow, they add layers of calcium carbonate, eventually creating a shell that most animals aren't strong enough to break through. However, scientists know that animals have gotten better at breaking clamshells over time. As newer, stronger animals evolved, clams had to evolve tougher shells. This arms race between developing shells and developing ways to break shells continues today. And no. 5. Some clams are super heavy. We already told you that clams grow really slowly, but that means they have a lot of time to grow big. The biggest kind of clam can be over 3 feet long and weigh more than 300 pounds. That's almost as heavy as a walrus. The biggest clam ever found was nearly 5 feet long and weighed over 600 pounds. It's heavier than a full-grown giraffe. It's no wonder that people have been eating clams for thousands of years. They might not be able to move fast or protect themselves, but they sure do make for a tasty meal. We hope you enjoyed learning about clams. If you want to learn more about mollusks, check out our Mollusks for Kids book. It covers everything from snails to squid and octopus. All our books are written by experts, reviewed by teachers, and come with fun activities and illustrations. Thanks for watching.